Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we have a little bit of an interesting discourse I want to go and once again touch up. Now, if you guys watch my channel a lot, one of the big proponents I've always enjoyed and pushed a lot is the idea of game preservation. I'm okay with emulation, and of course, having physical game copies. And if you guys have ever watched my channel a lot, even like a few weeks ago, I had a GameStop video that I do think resonated with a lot of folks. Mainly on the idea that, well, I used to have fond memories of going to GameStop. I like having physical copies. I have a PlayStation 5 with the disc attachment. And of course, as well, throughout my entire life, I've always had physical collectible games. And if you guys have probably heard me talk about this on my channel a decent bit, and I do think a lot of people who watch and subscribe to my channel are in the same exact boat. There's a lot of retro game collectors out here. There's people who love chasing collectibles. There's people who like doing those limited edition console runs and games and controllers and collecting and having these special pieces of gaming in your heart. And that's what I grew up with. I've always been a gamer my entire life, and I'm always a big fan of having a chance to play my games 10, 15, 20 years down the road. But once again, anytime I have a chance to go push this narrative, because it's a narrative I fully do believe in and I don't want it to die ever, is that this PlayStation Network outage, which a lot of people were sad about, a lot of people were affected by, and while it's not the biggest deal, like you can boot up your PlayStation right this second and go play and download any game, and it was only like a 20-hour downtime, and obviously people still had a chance to play some games, there was still some issues with it, and it once again is pushing a lot of memes and ideas and concepts that, well, this whole digital age does still have issues, and there can still be bigger issues down the road that we still have not had a chance to go and address. Now, right now, we're still on this big growing page of making cloud gaming, making AI, and we really don't know where the world's going to go in the next 10, 20, even, and I'll be honest with you guys, next 3 years. Couldn't even tell you, because right now we're seeing like AI slowly forming up. We're seeing big companies like Microsoft, Google, Amazon investing billions, if not hundreds of billions of dollars into AI. And, well, what's going to happen? We don't know, but that's kind of the fun of living, is that we have a chance to go and find out and figure things out. But one thing we did go and find out is there are negatives to it. Now let's go talk about the negatives. I want to hear your thoughts and comments and everything down below. So make sure you guys are subscribed if you guys are new. We've had a bajillion brand new subscribers. Thank you guys all for everything. And a quick reminder too, we also are doing big changes on this, like the YouTube stuff, the stream stuff and everything. So you're following up on Twitch or the second YouTube or here, please, although they're all linked down below, just click on them, follow them if you guys are into them all, the second Twitter and stuff, because we're going to be making some banger stuff very soon, to the point where I can like sit here on a video, and I know people don't like hearing YouTubers yap about stuff. Bro, you guys have no idea how cool a lot of stuff that's been in the works for like 2 years is on our channel. I cannot wait to show you guys, just for the love of the game. I love you guys. I love being here. So thank you guys for watching. Let's dive on into it. So if you guys have seen it, well, I'm sure you guys lived it. The PlayStation Network was out for a very long time, to the point where even GameStop went on Twitter with this crazy viral tweet that had over 13 million views saying, hey, y'all, bet y'all still want them physical copies now. Why don't you? As PlayStation Network has been down, we had a lot of issues with it. And if you guys missed the video yesterday, they actually are giving out a small, well, like 5 days. Some people are kind of iffy on it. Some people are okay with it. Some people are kind of want a little bit more. Some people want like a few months and all that. But they are giving out a little bit of a PlayStation Plus network to make it like a 5-day bonus to make everything better. But we're now seeing a huge insurgence once again of, well, companies and articles saying that this recent PlayStation outage put spot on the importance of physical media in the growing digital landscape. And I agree. Without any doubt in my mind, I will always push physical game copies is what I love. And ever since we've seen GameStop, Best Buy, Walmart, Target, all these other various platforms just completely disregarding physical, it's a little bit more apparent. Now, we talked about this on the channel before, with the PS5 Pro with the random disc attachment. Stupid, dumb, hate it, don't mind that it exists, but the price point's really ridiculous. And I do like having the idea of a physical edition and a digital edition. It's not the world's worst thing. Most recent Xbox is purely digital. That's fine. You know, their mid-console refresher that no one kind of really cares about, in all honesty, but whatever, it's still there. And of course, as well, we have things like the Switch, which is kind of physical, kind of digital, built on in. I like that format. And of course, the PS5 is mostly on the slim, we get the attachments. You know, it is what it is. But once again, as we have this outage, there leads to a lot of these weird issues. We're not able to sometimes install certain games with even with your game disc, because it's not connected to the online. Multiplayer games that are not even fully, regardless of like if you have a disc or not. Think games like an EA or Ubisoft or Uplay or even Game Pass as an example, because Xbox also has a lot of outages these past like 6 months or so. That's not as traumatic or as crazy, so it's not like big crazy news as well, besides like a 1-day full-on outage. But like this is all kind of driving people being concerned, because they're like, yeah, you can have it restored and everyone's happy with it after the full days, and they get a little kind compensation, but the conversation once again is back. And I always like to sharpen this one because it's something I do care about a lot. I do remember one time forever ago, someone's like, does scrubbing even care about this? Bro, I've made like 15 videos on it. Like, if anything, I care too much about this. So duh. It's always kind of crazy too, because I feel like I'm pretty consistent with most of my thoughts on the YouTube. But either way, so they're saying like you can still buy these games in retail storefronts, although it has been going down a decent bit. And while also things too as well, like physical, say for Xbox hardware, going down a little bit more than a lot of it. It does lead to the future of like cloud gaming, all these other outside things, because even other articles are like, hey man, the PlayStation Network is like a stark reminder to remind people that, bro, if you're going 100% into cloud gaming, 100% into Game Pass, 100% to almost kind of phasing out consoles and physical copies, like I mentioned, Xbox hardware is now like the Discless, like the brand new the white Series X is like that. You're trying to go put like Game Pass on TVs, Game Pass on your phones, Game Pass on handhelds, which I support. I'm not against that. I think that's the future regardless. But you also have to make sure that there's options to play games and have physical versions. And well, what happens 5, 10, 15 years down the road? We've covered throughout the years too as well with the CMOS batteries, where that was kind of a big trending issue, where they go and die, you cannot even go and register the online date stamp for your console. So it always just assume like you are pirating it, even if it's 20 years down the road. So one day your PS5 or your Xbox or your Switch might be a complete dud, especially if it doesn't work with any physical editions, like it just is fully gone. So this once again is still stirring people's thoughts, because this is now like 4 years into the life cycle. And well, while we still have like PS3 support, and I'm sure your PS2 games are fine, yeah, but what's going to happen then on your pure digital consoles? They're just going to end up in a landfill, like being rusted. Like there's not going to be any memories or nostalgia with it. And once again, if you have these big major outages, they become more of a prime threat. Now, we don't really know what happened on PlayStation. We don't know if it was a DDoS issue. We don't know if it was like people being nefarious or just some sort of a weird upgrade that went wrong. They never told us. And so a lot of people critiqued them. But like, this is true. Like Xbox could have a lot of big major issues on this too as well. Because what if everything goes wrong? What if everything is just gone, you know, on top of this? Because like people are worried about this too as well, because it is a growing concern and people do bring this up. And even right now, I've seen article after article after article and tweet after all this PlayStation stuff out here. And people are concerned because they're saying like, hey man, this is like PC gamers are right. They were right to resist this. They were right to not enjoy this. They were right to sit here and think, hey man, maybe we don't want to have a sign-on account, which this is in regards to the PlayStation and Helldivers 2 in the Steam issue, where people mass review bombed Helldivers because the game itself, you just couldn't play it. Like, even if you bought the game, you own the game, you gave them money, microtransactions, you grinded your character and gave like PlayStation and Steam your money, and you were still locked out, mainly because there's all in this weird online, you don't physically own the game itself problem, and that does sometimes lead into issues. Now, thankfully, it's not a big issue. Like most people watching this throughout the entire next year, you're probably not going to even think about this unless there's like some other crazy weird drama. It really is somewhat of a non-issue, but it's only a non-issue because we're kind of still relevant about it. Like we're still kind of somewhat stemming off the weird stems of when we all had to grow up and have our PS1s and PS2s, our GameCube games, or whatever generation you grew up on. And well, that's fine, because we grew up with it. We understand. But the future trajectory of this is not going well. As I mentioned, GameStop slowly closing stores. They're barely even selling video games in their stores nowadays. They're more so focused on selling Pokemon cards. They're more so focused on trying to go and sell things like Funko Pops, merch, and even trying to switch to even PC, which I'm cool with. I'm recording this video on a PC right now. But it does bode, well, not so good, because what will happen in the future if everything's on Game Pass? Or look at how we had issues with like Netflix and streaming, where at a certain point, no one really knew where licenses lie. And right now we have a lot of dormant games anyway. Look at Ubisoft. They have cool IPs like Splinter Cell that are just doing nothing with it. Cool old school IPs like Spyro and all these other various games like Infamous, Uncharted that are kind of a little bit on dormant sides. We don't really know what's going to happen with the future for a lot of these games. Look at the Crash Bandicoots. Look at all like the things like Guitar Hero and Rock Band, and these are all just unforgotten like IPs that these random big companies hold, and they don't do anything with it. And what's going to happen then like 10 years down the road, where we're seeing games like Assassin's Creed from Ubisoft are trying to go and float around from PS Plus streaming to Game Pass streaming, and that already does happen. Like I saw Destiny 2 on multiple different platforms, even on Game Pass, independent with Activision Blizzard, to then eventually get bought out by PlayStation. Because sometimes like we don't really know. We're all kind of forming this all together. And this is why I still think physical editions, more on like the network side, that there's so many many potential issues that we are thankfully solving. It's getting better, especially in comparison to like 10 years ago and now. And as the internet becomes more ingrained in the normal society, it is a necessity. It needs to happen. And I don't hate this. I'm not someone who's against the future, against Game Pass, against cloud gaming. But this is all stuff we have to focus on. Now, it's not the end of the world. It was all fixed up in like literally a day. I understand. But I do still like my physical. I like having a chance to know if everything's all out or the internet's out for whatever reason, because there is issues like my Comcast that can go completely out. I like to sit here and know I can plug in my game and check out the FF7 remake, or play God of War, or play Spider-Man without any issues, without having stress. I don't have to worry about CMOS batteries or online stuff, or if my Game Pass subscription ended and my cloud save is now gone forever, because I'd sit there sad if it ever was. So I don't know. I do think this whole physical edition still matters. I still care about collectibles. I still care about having the physical, and I hope that doesn't go away anytime soon, because that's how I grew up with, and hopefully you guys agree. So a little bit of a random yap and kind of exposing and talk about the issues of, well, all this stuff like Xbox outages and these shortages and the PlayStation network. And it is a little bit of a yap in my own kind of personal opinion, but I want to hear your thoughts on it, because I'd rather talk about my thoughts and talk about my opinions than have to go and sit here and read articles all the time. So I want to hear your thoughts and comments down below. Subscribe if you guys are new, or subscribe if you guys agree. Thank you guys all so much for the brand new subscribers on the channel itself. Leave a like, your thoughts and comments, and all of our bajillion different social links down below, like our second Twitter I want to be active on, the Twitch down below, and all that junk. I just appreciate y'all so much for watching in the first place and hearing your thoughts down below. So that was an awkward outro. I was trying to press to stop record, and then I just got weird. Now, if anyone ever made this, oh my god, no. This is where we get like the reality of YouTube, where you're kind of sitting here like, oh, now this is awkward. Like, do I? Oh, okay. I'm gonna leave this in so you guys can understand, dude. Sometimes I like start a YouTube video and I'm like, what's up, guys? And it's cringe. It's like, it's bad. Like, or I like completely misspeak. I'm like, so welcome to PlayStation or something. It's really, I don't know. This is the bloopers. I'm embarrassed. Anyway, have a good rest of your days. Love you guys very much. Mwah.